Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Corpse Party Blood Drive for the PC. As for the events of the last episode, well, we failed. We failed everything, pretty much. Misuto ended up creating his new Book of Shadows, thanks to us gathering all the Demon Pillar crystals. He managed to break down the walls between the Nirvana and the rest of the world. Nirvana has collapsed into the real world and is now merged with it. The apocalypse has been ushered, and well, Misuto is pretty much in the prime position here to be the new king of this new chaotic world of death and chaos. And who do we have to blame for all this? Well, I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. But I'm not exactly in the mood to beat that dead horse even more than I already have. So, yeah, I have no idea how the hell we're gonna get out of this and fix all the damage that has been done, short of some kind of Deus Ex Machina, like I said at the end of the last episode. But before we worry about all that, we have one wrong end in Chapter 6 to find, and we got a new EX chapter to look at. So, we're going to go ahead and check out these 2 things first before we move on to Chapter 7. Come on. Okay, help Kishinuma. Hesitate for a moment towards whether or not to try to stop Misuto prioritized lending a hand to Kishinuma and my friends. Is nothing different going to happen? Okay, so none of the options really did anything at the end of this chapter, so I think I'm going to try this mirror now. Because if this doesn't result in a wrong end of some kind, I don't know what will. And I assume that all I really need to do here is just choose the wrong object, or just not do anything, or anything like that. Maybe the scene will be play out differently a little bit, but the end result will probably be the same. That's what I'm guessing, because we only have one other end to Chapter 6. Anyway, let's see what I'll choose. Hey, Sachi. Step away from the mirror. My neck split open from the phantom impact and blood spurted out. From the corner of my eye, I could see Sachi in the mirror, swinging her hatchet down on me again. And despite my best efforts, I couldn't move a muscle to dodge. She continued to hack at me, again and again. Whenever the hatchet struck me in the mirror, my wounds grew bigger in reality. This was most definitely not an illusion. In the next instant, my vision spun in 360 degrees, my head corkscrewing closer and closer to the floor. I heard and felt a loud thud, followed by a painful roll, until I came to rest. Finally came to rest. I now had a perfect view of the ceiling. From behind me, I could hear the sound of blood gushing into the air from the gaping hole above my neck. I had only a few seconds of sight before my consciousness would fade completely. And in those seconds, my sight was already beginning to blur. But just as the darkness was beginning to set in, someone approached my head, crouched down beside it, and stared directly into my failing eyes. It was Nakashima, drenched in blood, with a satisfied look on her face. Why? I tried, with every ounce of will left in my body, to get even just that single word out. But there would never be any movement or sound from any part of me ever again. It must be my very last moment of life. Nakashima's face removed itself from my line of vision. And then, Briefly, I saw her shoe coming toward me. There was a spinning sensation for a split second. Then finally, unceremoniously, I was gone. So I was turned into a soccer ball! There are definitely worse ways to go out in this whole affair, for sure. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just try at least one of the other options, and if there are any variations of it, I guess I'll consider just throwing those in too. But I don't think that's going to be all that different. Okay, let's try giving you something now. Try using an item. Here, have some batteries. Nothing's happening. What am I supposed to do? Try shaking you off. Very impressive shaking, I gotta say. 10 out of 10. Okay, so that pretty much is it then, it seems. So I guess we'll just go ahead and check out Extra Chapter 4. Blood Drive EX Chapter 4. Memories Like Beautiful Dreams. Oh! We're gonna see what happens here right after that scene cut off. Through my hazy vision, all I could see was a red pillar of eyes. Red pair, where did I get pillar from? Cutting through the darkness like flames. I could barely breathe. I kept drifting in and out of consciousness. Now I think about it, why haven't we seen you around, Inumaru? I wonder why. Why at a time like this would that sticker photo I kept on my desk be the first thing to pop into my mind? Because you want to see your friends. I know they say your life flashes before your eyes before you die, but this is only a single page from my past, albeit a very dear one. Today was almost like a dream. I could hear their laughter in the back of my head. The sky was a beautiful crimson-purple fusion, and the sweetness of that cake from the cafe was still on my tongue as we entered the photo booth. How did things wind up like this? Well, because Naho wanted to impress her precious sensei. And you helped. Did I do something wrong? If so, when? Where? Somehow, the answers to these questions seemed less interesting to me by the moment as events from my past replayed themselves within me. It was like I'd gone back in time. And then, all of a sudden, the sound of a door being thrown open brought me back to my senses.
Sayaka! 買ってきたよ、Sayaka! お待たせ、Sayaka! 寂しくはなかったかな？待ちくたびれて泣いてたんじゃないのかな？
Sayaka! I come bearing gifts, Sayaka! Sorry to keep you waiting. Were you lonely? Were you crying because you didn't know when I'd be back?
うるさいわね、犬丸。ナホタンが寝てるんだから。静かにしなさいよ。
Quiet, Inumaru. Dear widowed Naho is sweeping. And we wouldn't want to wake her now, would we? For a second, by sweeping, I thought you meant like sweeping like with a broom. Like she's sweeping the floors or something. I heard every word and raised my head to survey the situation. Though I first regained my focus by staring at the clock above the blackboard. What clock? which slowly registered in my newly awakened mind as indicating it was now 4 o'clock.
寝すぎたかしら。
I feel like I overslept. I must have been exhausted from working on that draft late into the night. But with the deadline fast approaching, I had little other choice. I also must have been out for a really long time, as I had absolutely no memories of anything from 6th period. I looked around me, but the only other people in the room were Sayaka and Inumaru.
ごめんね、ナホタン。起こしちゃった。もっと寝ててもいいんだよ。
Sorry, Naho. Did we wake you? It's okay for you to go back to sleep if you want. Sayaka seemed to have noticed I'd woken up, and was running over to check on me, but I just shook my head. Okay, so is this supposed to be some kind of flashback for Naho? Not Naho. Naho? Because I thought we were checking this out from Aiko's perspective. How would Aiko know about any of this? First to indicate no, then much harder to shake off the drowsiness.
大丈夫。それよりさやか、私が起きるのを待っていたの？待たせちゃってごめんね。
I'm fine. Please don't tell me you've been waiting for me to wake up, though. So I'm really sorry to keep you so long.
なんでナホタンが謝るの？もう私とナホタンの中でそんな遠慮はなしだよ。
Don't apologize, Naho. Ooh. You know there's no such thing as bad blood between asbestos buds. Sayaka flashed me an overzealous, forced smile, which I returned, though mine was quite natural. Hers probably was too, actually, though I couldn't say for sure. Either way, it was super cute.
ところで犬丸、頼んだものはどこ？
So, Inumaru, where is it? Did you get it? The tone in her voice changed completely, and her smile disappeared too. Now that she was addressing Inumaru instead of me.
さやかがその細くて可憐な手を差し伸べてくれたなら、俺はどんな質問にも心を込めて答えさせてもらうよ。
If you should extend your beautiful, delicate hand to me, I would happily answer your questions of all the love in my heart and soul.
そう、例えば俺がさやかをどれだけ愛しているかについてとかね。
Such as, how do I love thee? Permit me to count the ways.
そういうのほんといいから。頼んだものはどこなのって聞いてるの。
That's a definite no on that. All I want from you is what I sent you out to get.
いつもの恥ずかしがりがまた出たね。まったく、いつになったらさやかは素直になってくれるのかな。
I can see the embarrassment written plainly on your face. How long must this farce go on before you show me your true colors? I pity this poor guy. He's so delusional. Haruyuki Inumaru was our mutual classmate and a childhood friend of Sayaka's. Everything he did for Sayaka. His whole world seemed to revolve around her. And sometimes she'd play along, making his day. Well, then no wonder he keeps coming back for more. You just string him along. If you truly were annoyed by him, just keep affirming no. I feel less sorry for you now if that's the case. But that hadn't happened for a while now. He had the blood of an Izuma priest running through his veins, which gave him a considerable amount of spiritual ability, though he never seemed to like having that brought up.
さやか、何か犬丸くんに頼んでたの？
Sayaka? Did you ask Inumaru to bring you something?
おやつ。ナホタンも一緒に食べよう。
Yeah, snacks. You want some too?
いいけど、ここで？
I'm good. But here? If you're hungry, you should just eat on the way home. That's what I'd always been taught. Though, actually, we did eat on the way home, all the time. So I guess this particular hunger somehow ran deeper.
どうしてもね、お腹が空いちゃって。我慢できないから、ここで食べたいなって。
But I'm hungry now. And I can't keep this beige keisted any longer. I am just an absolute fluent master of the English language. I could make people swoon for me effortlessly. And I can't keep this beast caged up any longer. I want to eat right here.
Sayaka, 持ってきたよ.
Well, Sayaka, here they are. Inumaru, who left the room without our knowledge a few seconds earlier, suddenly burst back in, with a flatbed cart in tow, squeaking away. And I could hardly believe what was on it.
じゃっじゃーん. どうだい、Sayaka? すごい量だろ?
Ta-da! How's this, Sayaka? I brought you a whole smorgasbord. Boxes and boxes of fatty, sugary, prepackaged foods lined every square inch of the transport.
ケーキにワッフル、ドーナツ。あ、最近できたばかりのプレッツェル屋さんの箱も。
Cakes, waffles, donuts. Waffles. Oh, and a box from that pretzel shop that recently opened too. Pretzels! Add to that cookies, pies, macaroons, even ice cream. He had all the bases covered for sure. Surely you're not gonna just eat all that stuff between the two of you. Yay! Hehe. They look so tasty. Time for a sugar high. To my surprise, Sayaka beelined for one of the boxes, setting in motion what may have been the biggest binge I'd ever seen. Box after box fell before her, many before she even sat down. Quite the big eater, aren't you? So sweet. This is heaven. Sayaka was ingesting these fatty, sugary, processed foods at an alarming rate. I'd never seen one person eat so much food she couldn't in such a short period of time. She shouldn't, excuse me, in such a short period of time. If she couldn't eat all that food, her stomach would be bursting right now, and that would throw a serious wrench into the big timeline that we got here.
Sayaka? どうしたの?
Sayaka? Are you feeling okay?
もちろんナホタンも食べてね。どれも美味しいよ。
Oh, did you want some too? Help yourself. Everything is simply scrumptious. Did you have Inumaru pay for all this stuff for you by any chance? Because I could totally see him just emptying his bank account, just buying you a mountain of food.
そんなにお腹が空いていたの?
Are you seriously that hungry?
そうなの。
I totally was. You shouldn't skip breakfast, Sayaka.
甘いものがとにかく食べたくってね。カロリーが心配だけど。でも食べたいんだから仕方ないよね。
I just had a real craving for something sweet. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. I get cravings like that too, but you gotta eat in moderation. All that much stuff is just asking for a heart attack. I'm a little worried about all the calories, but what can you do? Not eat it all, maybe? The stomach wants what it wants, but you gotta be stronger than the stomach.
まさかこれ全部食べるつもり?
You're not planning to eat all of this, are you? I was legitimately scared by the sheer quantity of sweets still stacked on the cart. I mean, I loved candy as much as the next person, but I was practically getting heartburn just looking at this massive haul. Yeah, of course I'll eat it all. I wouldn't let her do that, so you know what? If she's hell-bent on just stuffing her face as much as possible, then Naho, I would recommend that as a good friend, You either wheel the cart away, like a sensible person would do, or you could do the less sensible thing and just try to eat as much of that stuff with her as you can so she doesn't most certainly cause herself a heart attack, and instead just gives her a really great chance of having one this very night, along with yourself. And if you're going to be stupid about it, I would certainly choose uncertain death over certain death. But that's just me.
ちょっとさやか、本気なの?
Wait, Sayaka, you can't be serious. But I am.
いい食べっぷりだな。足りなくなったら言ってね、さやか。すぐに追加を買ってくるから。
Quite an appetite on this one. Just let me know if that's not enough for you, Sayaka, and I'll go get you some more right away. If
何
you...
を言ってるの、犬丸くん。こんなに食べさせたら、さやかが太ってしまうじゃない。
What are you saying, Inumaru? If she just eats everything you brought her already, she's going to get fat in no time. Well, I'm glad you said it. Because, frankly, I was tempted to say it myself.
心配ご無用だよ、さえのきさん。さやかなら、どれだけふくよかになっても可愛いに決まってるからね。
That's not a problem, Sainoki. No matter how plump she may get, Sayaka will always be the cutest. We'll just have to agree to disagree on that one.
ああ、でも抱きしめた時に両腕が届くくらいまでにしてもらえると、俺としては嬉しいんだけど。
Besides, it's like I told you back in Hysteric Birthday, Seiko is the cutest. Though I would be glad if I could get my arms all the way around her when I hug her, I suppose.
バカみたいなこと言ってないで、そっちの箱取って、犬丸。
Stop being stupid and bring me that box, Inumaru.
はい、喜んで。あ、なんならあんしてあげるよ。ほら、マカロンを食べさせてあげよう。
As you wish. Oh, would you like me to feed it to you? Here, this macaroon has your name all over it.
それ、犬丸の手垢がついたからいらない。あんた食べてね。
No, it has your fingerprints all over it, which is gross. You eat it.
やったー！さやかが俺におやつをくれた！
Yay! Sayaka gave me a snack! Well, I suppose that's the least that she could do for you. You poor unfortunate soul. Man, poor guy. Inumaru was now holding the macaroon close to his heart, with a joyous expression on his face. You're gonna get that thing to leave stains on your suit, man. I couldn't bear to look at him anymore, so I turned my attention back to Sayaka. I studied her as she continued to engorge herself, trying to determine how someone so typically mild-mannered had wound up in such a state. This was decidedly not normal behavior for her in any way. Something was definitely off. Well, I can think of two things. Number one, something is wrong with her metabolism. Or two, she's trying very hard to distract herself from something that is causing her emotional distress. Take your pick, because I have no idea which one it could be. Actually, I am sensing some kind of disturbance. The longer I stared at her, the more I was able to make out a faint shadow wavering just behind her. Are you possessed? A spirit? It was a low-level spirit. One that could easily slip by unnoticed if a highly trained observer weren't looking very, very closely. Specifically, it was the spirit of a little girl. Its attachment to Sayaka is quite weak. It wouldn't take a lot of effort to exorcise. How careless of me not to notice this presence sooner. I was now fully convinced that Sayaka's superhuman appetite originated from that little girl. There's a spirit attached to you, Sayaka. Sit still. I'll get rid of it. I produced a talisman from my bag and was just about to throw it down. But Sayaka quite aggressively shook her head at the notion. Hey, even a spirit's gotta eat, Naho.
ナホちゃんダメ。悪い例じゃないから。
Stop, Naho! She's not a bad spirit. What?
あのね、この子、かわいそうなんだ。
I actually feel really bad for her.
ずっと楽しみにしてた評判のスイーツを買った帰り道、居眠り運転の事故に巻き込まれて死んじゃったみたいでね。
She was walking home one day, all excited after buying herself some really top-quality candy, when she got hit by a car whose driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, killing her instantly. That sucks.
それ以来、美味しいスイーツが食べたくて仕方がなくて、成仏できないみたい。
At the moment of her death, all she wanted was to eat tasty sweets. But since she couldn't fulfill that wish, she couldn't pass on. So you're helping her fulfill her wish, her dying wish then? That's kind of sweet of you.
力がなさすぎて、
No pun intended.
長いこと人に取り付くこともできなくて、やっと元気を蓄えて取り付いたのが私だったんだよ。
And for the longest time, she didn't have enough energy to possess anyone. But she finally managed to save enough, and the person she latched onto was me.
まさか同情しているの？ダメよ、さやか。霊に心を寄せては。
Are you seriously sympathizing with her? You know you can't do that, Sayaka. Opening your heart to spirits can only lead to trouble. Well, yeah, I am inclined to agree with Naho here. Just ask Mayu. Ask her how that went for her.
だけど、なほちゃん、同じ女の子ならわかるでしょ？
She's got the watery eyes going on. She's gonna try to worm her way into your heart, Naho. But Naho, you're a girl too. You get where she's coming from, don't you? Gender's got nothing to do with it, Sayaka. Sweets and candies and all that shit is universal.
ずーっと楽しみにしてたスイーツを手に入れたのに食べられなかったんだよ。そんなのってないよね。
Imagine if you've been psyched to eat super nice sweets for a long, long time. And you got them, but then before you could taste any. But then you didn't die before you could taste any. That would totally blow, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would, but I'd have regrets. I'd have stronger regrets than not being able to stuff my face with the pretzel or ice cream cone or whatever it was I had right in front of me, right before I got hit by a car.
それはまあ、わからなくはないけれど。
Well, sure it would, but still.
でしょ？だからね、私、この子が満足するまでスイーツを食べてあげなきゃって思うの。
See? So I'm planning to eat sweets until this little girl is satisfied. It's the least I can do. Well, what if she's never satisfied?
ほら、こうやって。はっ。甘いものを食べると、この子、幸せそうな顔するんだよ。
I mean, just look. Every time I eat something sweet, just look at how happy it makes her. The girl behind Sayaka did seem genuinely pleased every time Sayaka popped something in her mouth. And there wasn't the slightest hint of malevolence from her. If anything, she projected a certain innocence that genuinely made even me kind of sympathize with her.
だからって、さやかが太るのは嫌。
But still, I really don't want to see Sayaka get fat. Well, you could just let her indulge the spirit for just a little bit, and then exorcise her, and, well, exorcise the spirit, I mean, and then exorcise Sayaka in a different sort right the next morning, and have her work off all those fatty calories that she ingested. One of my secret joys was admiring Sayaka's magazine spreads. She always wore the most beautiful clothes, exhibiting a true sense of style and a true understanding of fashion in every photograph. Though I could hardly say that out loud. It was much too embarrassing.
さやか、どんな例にせよ、取り憑かれた状態はあまり良くないわ。やっぱり、払った方がいいと思う。
Sayaka, no matter how good or pure the spirit, possession never ends well. She really should be exorcised.
悪いことはできそうにない子だから平気だよ。
She's a girl without a single malicious thought in her mind. That's beside the point. I'll be fine. honestly. If a person who's been possessed is covering for the spirit, that makes exorcism much more difficult. Even potentially impossible, low level or no. My hands were more or less tied.
犬丸くん、さやかを説得したいのだけれど、手伝ってくれる？
Inumaru, can you help me convince Sayaka to go through with the exorcism? You expect Inumaru to be able to help convince Sayaka to stop? Inumaru of all people. You're more desperate than I thought.
説得？どうして？
Convince her? Why?
さやかに霊がついたままなんて、あなただって嫌でしょ？
You don't want Sayaka to continue being possessed, do you?
そうだね。あまりいい気分はしないけど、でも霊に同情するさやかの心優しさに俺は感動してしまったんだ。
Well, I guess that's a little worrisome. But I'm also really moved by Sayaka's kindness. It takes a big heart to sympathize with the dead. I repeat, just ask someone called Mayu Suzumoto how well that went for her when she sympathized with some dead spirits. Also, you fail in your bloodline, Inumaru. You're supposed to have some spiritual ability, and yet you don't even bother to do anything and use it.
まさか、あなたまで霊を払わなくていいと思っているの？
Don't tell me you're okay with what she's doing.
だってあの子は悪霊じゃないからね。
Well, it's not an evil spirit, right? Again, that's besides the point.
さやかがカロリー過多でモデルを辞めることになってしまっても、あなたは構わないの？
And you don't care if Sayaka takes in so many calories that she has to quit modeling.
もちろん問題ないよ。さやかがそれでいいって言うなら、俺もそれでいいんだ。俺とさやかの心は二人で一つだからね。
Of course not. If that's what Sayaka wants, then that's what I want too. Our hearts are as one. Loyal to a fault, as always.
あなたに相談した私がバカだったみたい。
Guess that's what I get. Asking you for help. Told you this wouldn't work. My head began to hurt. And every second I watched Sayaka continue to devour her snacks, I became more and more inclined to stop her. Wheel the goddamn cart away! It's not hard!
ここはもう強行策に出るしかない。
For fuck's sake, I mean, can't you just conjure up some spiritual fire? Set all the sweets on fire. Water won't do shit against it, right? Because, you know, it's spiritual and all? I think this calls for more drastic measures. Sayaka might hate me for this, I thought. But that was a risk I was willing to take. My course of action decided upon, I took my stance and prepared to send that girl along to the ever after. Before I could even begin to chant, an unexpected visitor arrived. My, what a wonderful aroma. May I join you? Is this when you guys first meet? The classroom door was wide open, and there she stood. The infamous Aiko Niwa, wearing a unique combination of kimono and school uniform. She was a self-proclaimed intelligence agent from Class 3-5, and she had a lot of tendencies that I found distasteful. Specifically, she seemed to live for collecting spirit items, and just in general came across as a bit shady and manipulative. Or at least that's how I'd always seen her. Aiko. Mouthful of donuts, Sayaka nonetheless did her best to acknowledge the presence of this new arrival. She wasn't particularly fond of Aiko, however, as the two of them had butt heads previously. Okay, never mind, so you guys did meet before this too then. But Sayaka had a general love of beautiful girls, and Aiko ranked fairly high on her beauty scale, so she always seemed a little conflicted about that.
Aiko, 何しに来たの?
What are you here for, Aiko?
あら、そう冷たい声を出さないで、ナホちゃん。
Now, now, there's no need to speak to me so coldly, Naho.
私はただ帰ろうと思って階段を降りていたら甘い香りが漂ってきたから気になっただけよ。
I was just descending the stairs on my way home when my nose detected a sweet scent and followed it here.
そうしたらナホちゃんたちに出くわしたの。これって運命かしら。
Where lo and behold, I found you. Could this be fate?
アイコさん、ナホちゃんに色目使わないでください。
Aiko, stop trying to seduce Naho. I don't think that's what she's trying to do, but okay.
まあ、そんなことしてないわ。言いがかりはよしてね、さやかちゃん。
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. And I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't make such accusations.
アイコ、さやかを煽らないで。
Aiko, don't pester Sayaka.
そんなつもりはないのだけど。
I would never.
あのね、今はあなたの相手をしている暇はないの。
I don't really have the time to be dealing with you right now.
そうなの？
Is that so? She tilted her head and examined the cart full of sweets, then compared its size to Sayaka's tiny frame.
あらあら、さやかちゃんは女力士役のオファーでも来たのかしら。
Well now, have you been offered a position as a female sumo wrestler? Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing you should be saying right now, Aiko. Huh?
さやかが女力士。
Sayaka, as a female sumo wrestler. Does that thought turn you on, Inumaru? Does it arouse your loins? You have very interesting taste indeed. Sayaka seemed confused, and Inumaru seemed disturbingly intrigued. That's certainly one way to put it. I just ignored them both and let out a huge sigh.
アイコ、よく見て。さやかの後ろに霊がいるでしょ。
Look a little closer, Aiko. Can't you see there's a spirit behind her?
あら、そう言われてみれば。まあ、随分と影の薄い霊だこと。
Now that you mention it. My, what a thin presence she has.
その子がさやかに取り付いて、これだけのスイーツを食べさせているのよ。
She's possessed Sayaka and is forcing her to eat sweets on her behalf.
払いたいのに、さやかが協力的じゃなくて困っていたところなの。
I want to exorcise her, but Sayaka's not cooperating, so things aren't exactly going well.
そういうことだったの。なら、ちょっと見せてもらえるかしら。
So that's it then. May I take a closer look at her? Aiko cautiously approached Sayaka and observed the spirit's behavior for a moment. Aiko's passion was the collection of spirit items infused with deep hatred or malice. So if this little girl wound up being a little darker than she seemed, Aiko would undoubtedly snatch her away on the spot.
スイーツに執着心があるのね。そう。それで、自己死についてはどう思っているのかしら。
So you're a big fan of sweets, huh? I see. And how do you feel about dying in that accident?
さぞ無念だったのでしょう。相手を殺してやりたいとか、呪ってやるとか考えているのではなくて。
You must have a lot of regrets, I'll bet. Have you ever thought about killing or cursing the person who did this to you? Don't corrupt the spirit!
そう？じゃあ、誰かで構わず同じ目に遭えばいい、なんて風には思わない？
Really? Well, have you ever wanted other people to end up the same way you did?
あら。そうなの。
Oh. I see. Well, we aren't in heavenly hosts, so we don't have to worry about any spirits being corrupted by the darkening and all that stuff. So, yeah, if you were a pretty good innocent person in life, then there's a good chance you would still largely be the same even in death in the real world, I'd assume. Aiko broke off the conversation shortly after this exchange and walked back toward me with slumped shoulders.
ダメね。全然なってないわ。せっかく霊になったというのに、美味しいスイーツが味わえれば満足なのですって。
It's no use. She won't budge. There's so much potential when becoming a spirit, but this girl just wants to eat delicious candy and she'll be completely satisfied. I say that's ultimately a good thing, though, considering the wide variety of other spirits we've seen in this series up until now. This one's actually very benign.
信じられる？ナホちゃん。彼女、何も恨んでないって言うのよ。ありえないでしょ。そんな霊に存在価値はないわ。
Can you believe it, Naho? She's saying she holds no grudge. But that can't be possible, right? Even if it is, there's simply no value to be had in spirits like that. Woe is you. Aiko had completely lost interest, and she didn't seem to care that the little girl had heard every word she said. The spirit was on the verge of tears, shrinking back behind Sayaka to distance herself as much as possible from this hostile new presence. Now look what you did, Aiko! Apologize!
そこまでアイコが言うってことは、本当に悪意は皆無なんでしょうね。
If Aiko is that adamant, then I guess the poor thing really doesn't hold any ill will.
だからね、ほんとかわいそうな子なんだよ。分かってあげて、ナホタン。
I told you, I feel really bad for her. Please try to understand, Naho. Sayaka spoke with a bit of staccato. What the hell is a staccato? Her lips sticky with apple pie residue.
でもさやか、そのまま食べ続けてたら大変でしょ?
But Sayaka, if you keep eating like that, it's going to catch up with you.
そうかな?
You think so? It's a scientific fact, Sayaka.
さやかちゃんはその霊がかわいそうだから除霊はしなくていいと考えているのね。
You're not going to let Naho exorcise the ghost because you feel sorry for her, then? Huh?
は
Yeah.
そうなの。ナホちゃんがこんなに心を痛めているのに、あなたはその霊に味方をするというわけなのね。
I see. So despite how much Naho is hurt by your actions, you're going to side with that spirit. Huh?
ねえ、ナホちゃん。さやかちゃんたらひどいわね。
See, Naho? Isn't Sayaka mean? I see what you're up to. You're appealing to her loyalty to Naho. Aiko smiled and sidled up next to me. She was clearly plotting something. She took my hand in hers and wrapped her fingers around it delicately.
あなたの気持ちを無下にする子なんて放っておいて、私とデートしましょう、ナホちゃん。
Let's leave this uncouth girl, who has no regard for your feelings, and go out on a date. Shall we?
そんなのダメ!
No! You can't! Sayaka immediately shot to her feet, knocking over her chair in the process. And just like that, she no longer had the slightest interest in any part of the mountain of candy that lay sprawled out before her. The sudden shift separated the spirit from Sayaka as if the cord had been cut on a kite.
ナホタン、デートするなら私としよう。今日は放課後オフだから。ね、ね。
If you're going to date anyone, Naho, date me! I'm off after school today. What do you say? Huh? Huh?
構わないけど。
That's fine, I guess.
やったー!
Well, I'm surprised she said yes. All right, scored a date with Naho! Sayaka hugged me excitedly, and I was overjoyed. It's always nice knowing how much other people really care about you. But then, for a brief moment, my eyes locked with those of the little girl's spirit floating in the air. And that's all it took.
いけない。
Crap! Did you get possessed? The spirit was quicker to act than I was to realize what I'd done. By the time I had, it was too late. She was already within me. Yup. Oh boy. Looks like somebody's now gonna have to come to your rescue. Instantly, my stomach emptied. I was intensely, massively hungry. The hungriest I'd ever been.
Sayaka, ごめん。ちょっとデートは待って。
Actually, Sayaka, sorry, but let's hold off on that date for a little. Sayaka's poor heart, I can hear it tearing in two right now. Sad violin intensifies. Huh?
私、それ食べないと。
I absolutely have to eat that. I flew over to Sayaka's chair and threw open one of the stacked boxes. Jackpot! It was full of custard-filled cream puffs. I grabbed one and shoved it into my mouth, with absolutely no regard for mess or manners. The rich custard melted in my mouth, and the light, delicate aroma filled my nostrils. But rather than sating my appetite, this delicious temptation only made it stronger.
おいしい。
So good!
あらあら、今度はあの子、ナホちゃんについちゃったのね。
Oh dear. Looks like your spirit has found its way into Naho now. What?
本当だ。ナホちゃん大丈夫？
Oh wow, you're right. Naho, are you okay? I had neither the time nor the desire to answer her question. I was too busy moving my hands and mouth, either eating sweets or formulating a game plan to eat further sweets more efficiently. But I couldn't exactly leave her hanging.
大丈夫。
I'm fine. After every bite, the girl possessing me expressed pure, absolute gratitude. I heard whispers from her to the effect of, "I'm so happy," and "Thank you so much." And I immediately realized this could be a real problem.
さやかが同情するのも仕方ないのかも。
I totally get why Sayaka felt sympathy for this girl. The desire to continue eating, no matter what, made this spirit every girl's worst enemy. And the worst part was, you just couldn't say no to her. She was too relatable. We got a spirit of mass destruction right here. If you're a girl. At least according to Naho. Rarely had I ever encountered a spirit who elicited such sympathy that its host would choose not to part with it.
こっちのエクレアも美味しい。
This eclair is amazing.
もういいの？
You don't want any more, Sayaka? Okay, the only thing I can think of now is we got to elicit the same kind of indignant response in Naho that we just elicited from Sayaka. So, do either you, Sayaka or Aiko, know any weakness of Naho's? If so, exploit it.
私もうお腹いっぱい。
No, I'm full.
こんなに食べたっけ？
Actually, wow, did I really eat this much? The number of open and empty boxes was either astounding or sickening, depending on your viewpoint. Is it too much to ask for both?
さやか、見ていて
It
気持
was
ちのいい食べ
sickeningly
っぷりだったよ。
astounding. Or astoundingly sickening. I can tell you were enjoying your food, Sayaka, by the unrestrained, unbridled passion with which you consumed it.
間違いなく体重が増えるでしょうね。楽しみだわ。お腹のぷよぷよ、ぜひ触らせてちょうだいね。
You're almost certainly going to gain a little weight from the experience, too. And personally, I can't wait. I hope you'll allow me to touch your tummy and feel up that food, baby.
ダメです。私は触られるより触りたい派ですから。
No way! I'm much more comfortable being the toucher than the touchee. Yeah, I know that full well, Sayaka, but I really think you should just worry about when you can get to the nearest treadmill.
そうだったの、さやか。それじゃ今までは遠慮してたんだね。いいんだよ。俺をもっと触って、撫でて、抱きしめてくれたって。
Really, Sayaka? Have you been holding back this whole time then? It's okay, you know. You can touch me, pet me, or hug me all you want. Anytime.
今そんな話はしてないでしょ。
Nobody's talking about you. Inumaru was quickly knocked to the floor. Sayaka then ran right past him, over to me.
ナホちゃん、それ以上食べないで。太るの反対。
Naho, don't eat another bite. I don't want you to get fat.
そんなこと言われても。
You're said and done.
仕方がないのだもの。
I can't help you. I just want to keep eating. I can't help it.
ナホタンが太っちゃうなんてやだ。
No! No getsies, fatsies for you, please!
それは私も
You can be so goddamn cute sometimes, Sayaka. I'm also a little concerned, but my hunger could not be easily sated. My hands just wouldn't stop grabbing candies and sweets and desserts, one after another after another.
さやかが望むなら、俺があの霊を払おうか。
I'll be glad to exercise that spirit for you, Sayaka, if you want.
でも払うのはやっぱりかわいそう。他に方法はないの？
But I feel bad for her. Isn't there any other way? I already gave you my suggestion, but I have a feeling none of us are going to take it.
憑依を剥がすこともできるけど、あの霊を放っておけばまた別の誰かに取り付くだろうね。
Well, I can just remove the spirit from her, but if we leave it be, it'll probably possess someone else. Then the only thing I can think of now is just to share the spirit between all of you and eat yourselves silly until everything on that cart is gone, and hopefully by the end of it, that spirit will be saved. I mean, satiated, excuse me. But that would probably also save the spirit too, to be fair. You might all gain a few pounds from the experience, but hey, you can all hit the treadmill in the morning tomorrow together.
さやかちゃんがナホちゃ
No
ん
harm,
以
no
外
foul.
がどうなってもいいというのであれば、それでもいいんじゃないかしら。
As long as it's not possessing Naho, I have a feeling Sayaka wouldn't mind that arrangement one bit.
それも困ります。どうしたらいいの？
Well, that's a problem all its own. I'm just not sure what I should do. Sayaka took a contemplative stance, holding her head in her hands as she attempted to suss out a possible solution to this problem. And it didn't take her long to brainstorm something.
そうだ！成仏してもらえばいいんじゃない？
I know. How about we appease her so she can move on?
霊が満足するまでスイーツを食べ続けてもらうの？でも、それって今の状況と何ら変わりないわよね。
So let her continue to eat sweets until she's satisfied. That's going to leave us in the same exact situation.
さやかとサイノキさんでだいぶ食べてるけど、まだ満足はしていないみたいだしね。
Yeah, you and Sainoki have both eaten a lot, but the spirit doesn't seem to be anywhere close to being appeased yet.
どれだけの量を食べたらあの子が満足するのか想像できないわ。
I can't even imagine how much more you'll need to eat before she is. Well, you and Pretty Boy over there are here, aren't you? I'd say get your forks ready.
そうじゃなくて、あの子が食べられなかったのって美味しくて有名なスイーツだったんです。
That's not quite what I mean. She died after buying some super fancy sweets but not being able to eat them, right?
だから生前あの子が食べたことがないぐらい美味しいスイーツを味わえれば成仏するんじゃないかなって。
So if we can introduce her to something really hoity-toity that she's never eaten before, I'll bet that would be more than enough for her to rest in peace.
ああ、なるほど。
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Okay, so what do you suggest that you stuff down your gullets then? The spirits seem to be in agreement as well. She was nodding furiously. Even she hadn't considered this plan previously, but she was clearly all aboard now. I was tripping over my words again.
近くに美味しいって評判のスイーツ屋さんなかったっけ?
Were there any good high-end sweet shops nearby?
この近所のスイーツならほとんど俺が買ってきたよ。さやかへの愛ゆえにね。
I bought from nearly everyone in the area as a show of my love for Sayaka.
それでも成仏しないんだから、もっと美味しいものじゃないとダメってことなんだろうな。
Well, if none of that's doing the trick, then I guess we just need to find something even more delicious. Well, I would suggest maybe a pizza. That can be delicious. You even get your choice of toppings and all that stuff.
なほたん、どこかいいお店知ってる?
Maybe the spirit will like Italian food. Naho, can you think of anything? Now, maybe French cuisine could work.
猫カフェなら。
There's a cat cafe.
それはまた今度、二人でデートするときに行こうね。
Let's save that one for our date. Why not? I mean, if it'll work, then just have the date immediately after the spirit is exorcised. Knock out two birds with one stone. Sayaka rejected my suggestion. Not that it was particularly likely to appease the spirit anyway, since the true point of the cafe wasn't its sweets, but its feline companions. Cats are awesome.
ねえなほちゃん、それならやっぱり私とデートしましょう。
Well, Naho, I guess that just means you and I are going to need to go out on that date after all. A ticket was handed to me, presented with a certain flair that suggested it must have been something special. Oh, so this is the event that leads up to that photograph being taken. I get it now.
カフェホルタース?
Cafe Hortnath? Orthath? What? How do you say that? That was the name, and the ticket also bore the date, as well as a 5:30 p.m. timestamp. That's... Sayaka clearly recognized the significance of what I'd just been handed.
隣の駅前の予約だけで1年待ちって評判のカフェホルタースの予約チケット。
That's that sweet shop in front of the next station down the line. You know, the one you have to reserve seats at a year in advance? Good fucking God! A year in advance? Heaven forbid you have to, like, I don't know, work on your job on a day like that or anything. Like, how do you properly prepare for something like that?
なんですって?
What? A piece of cake I'd been eating fell from my now agape mouth and crumbled to the floor. I remembered hearing about this place during a TV feature.
開店当初、予約待ちの列が駅前を埋め尽くしたっていう、
During its grand opening, the reservation line backed up pedestrian traffic throughout the station. Are we seriously talking that place?
しかもこれ今日の予約じゃないですか。
And your reservations are actually for today?
アイコさん、どうしたんですかこれ?
Where did you get these, Aiko?
お客様になり損ねた方から取り上げたのよ。
I confiscated them from someone who failed to become a customer of mine. What do you mean by that exactly? Aiko said this in a coy, playful voice, clearly riding the waves of Sayaka's excitement. She continued in this manner, outlining her story in greater detail.
頼まれていた情報を渡したら、1円も払わずに連絡がつかなくなった方がいてね。
I gave my client the requested information, but received not a single yen in compensation, and I've been unable to establish any contact since. If it's the sort of information that led to Naho learning about heavenly hosts, then I bet it's probably because they're dead.
そんなのってあんまりでしょ?
That's just poor business, don't you think?
だから滞納した分の利子も含めて、貯金その他、お金になりそうなものは片っ端から回収させてもらったの。
So as a form of collateral, I collected that person's entire savings, along with anything else I could find that seemed to be of some worth. How the hell did you pull that off? Are you actually an expert bank robber?
片っ端からですか。
Their entire savings?
そう。このチケットもその中の一つってこと。
Yes, that's right. And I found these tickets in the mix.
売りさばこうにも今日しか使えないチケットだし、それならたまには親しい人たちと美味しいものを食べたいわ。
I was thinking of selling them, but they're only good for today. And it's always nice to eat delicious food with the people one truly cares about from time to time.
親しい人たち。
People you care about? Us?
なほちゃんはもちろんだけど、さやかちゃんとはるゆきくんもご招待したいわ。どうかしら。
Of course. And you're all welcome to join. Not just Naho, but you two as well, Sayaka and Haruyuki. What do you say?
いいんですか？
Are you sure?
これを機に親睦を深めたいところね。
Of course. I'd love to build a better relationship with you all, and it seems like the perfect opportunity.
だってなほちゃん、行ってみようよ。
You hear that, Naho? Come on, let's go!
さやかが行くなら俺も行くよ。どこまでもついていくよ。だから安心してね、さやか。
If you're going, then I'm going. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Sayaka, so take heart.
あんたはお呼びじゃないってば。
I wasn't asking you. Poor Inumaru. As Sayaka beat the ever-loving snot out of Inumaru again, I took this opportunity to glance over at Aiko and study her for any signs of ulterior motive.
親しい人たちと言われるほど、あなたと仲良くしたことはないと思うのだけれど。
People you care about, huh? I don't remember ever even getting along with you. Well, that's because, as we pretty much recently learned in the last episode, well, not learned, but more or less confirm, she's not exactly good at conveying her true feelings on a lot of things. I'd known Aiko for a while, but mostly just as a colleague in supernatural studies. I'd never gone out with her, nor even sat in and drunk tea with her, like I frequently would with Sayaka.
あら、なほちゃん。その目は何かしら。
My, Naho, you look perturbed. Something the matter?
アイコ、何を企んでいるの？
Aiko, what are you planning?
何も企んでなんていないわ。たまには礼具ではなく、人間のおしゃべりに付き合ってお茶を楽しみたいと思っただけよ。
I'm not planning anything but a good time. And for once, I believe you. I just thought it might be nice to drink tea and make small talk. Chat about something other than spirit items for a change.
そう？
Really?
え？
Really?
それにね、なほちゃん。
Also, Naho? Suddenly she was right next to me. And with her porcelain-like fingers, she lifted the strawberry from the shortcake I was eating.
私たち親友ですものね。放課後にお茶をするくらいいいでしょ？
We're close friends, right? It's normal for close friends to go out for tea after school, no?
親友？
Close friends?
はい。
Here, say ah. Instinctively, I did open my mouth, at which point the strawberry was gently placed on my tongue, and I found myself swallowing it without hesitation. Don't choke on it.
なほちゃんたら口元に生クリームがついているわよ。
Oh, Naho, you're so messy. You have whipped cream all over your mouth. She brought her finger up to my lips and wiped the cream from them. After which she stuck that same finger in her own mouth, savoring the secondhand cream she scored. These are like fighting actions for Sayaka, if she's watching this.
甘さ控えめで美味しいわね。
Mmm, so light and sweet.
何するのよ。
What the hell are you doing? Well, looks to me like she's flirting. Oh, oh, I'm melting! Two sexy ladies, feeding each other and sharing whipped cream. I'm kind of amazed that you're not upset about this, Sayaka. Considering, who it is that just, ate whipped cream off Naho's face. And, it being Naho and her face that had food taken off of it and eaten. Sayaka shrieked and held her nose, presumably to keep it from bleeding. Which did seem to be a real concern, given how red her face had gone. Thank you for that steamy scene. But no! I can't let it go on! Aiko, you're not to lay even one finger on Naho anymore. There we go. That's just the sort of reaction I'd expect.
Sayaka.
Sayaka. Sayaka burst between me and Aiko and hugged me with ferocious intensity. Her fresh citrus perfume tickled the inside of my nose as her supple breasts, roughly the same size as my own, pressed up against my face. Which made it kind of hard to breathe for a moment. Sayaka, you're suffocating me. I'm sorry, Naho. But if I don't do this, Aiko's going to make you open up and say ah again. No, she won't. You two certainly do have a lovely relationship. You're making me jealous. Aiko's faux pouty voice was only making matters worse with Sayaka. And in turn, I was getting more and more fed up with the whole situation. Which is about when I realized that my body had grown lighter. Huh? I'm not possessed anymore? My concern over suffocating to death on Sayaka's boobs seemed to have diverted my attention away from all the delicious sweets. And sure enough, it only took a moment of scanning the area around me to see that the spirit girl, floating freely, looking a bit concerned. She seemed to be trying to decide between Aiko and Inumaru, the latter of whom was on the ground holding his stomach. Naturally, she chose to possess Inumaru this time. Whoa, I have a sudden craving for sugar! He quickly shot to his feet and ran full speed toward the remaining piles and boxes of candy and confectionaries. This is so good. I'm totally going to get fat from it, though. And that's really bad. But you'll love me even if I'm chunky, won't you, Sayaka? Naho, over here. You'll say ah for me too, right? Come on, open your mouth. Here comes the airplane. Sayaka. Why don't we do this somewhere a little more private? Now, there's no need to worry about that, Naho. You're not that shy, are you? Come on. Huh? Didn't you hear my question, Sayaka? Oh, I get it. You want me to diet with you, don't you? Guess I'll have to go buy some workout clothes then. What would look good, I wonder? we're going to want to wear matching outfits, so...
勝手におかしな話を進めるのはやめて。
Just stop talking. You're only making things worse. Gah!
あなたたちっていつ見てもおかしいのね。見ていて飽きないわ。
Watching all is so very entertaining. I'm not sure I'd ever get tired of it. And in this manner, the conversation devolved into pure anime tropes, remaining in such a state for the entire walk to Cafe Hortath. Out of breath, we finally arrived at our destination only 5 minutes after the 5:30 reservation time. Fashionably late, some might say. I wonder... Maybe I should stop this? I don't know. Okay, you know what? I think I'll just go ahead and stop things here. We can just continue this on in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Corpse Party Blood Drive. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all next time. Take care.